may duda ako sa legality ng pinasukan nating trade deal. There are 42 commitments by the Philippines, the US only 5. Nagkaroon na daw ng tapos na deal, nagkapirmahan na, nag-shake hands na, nag-picture taking na. Ang sabi ni Presidente Trump, zero tariff ang lahat ng US exports. Pinaliwanag naman ni Pangulo Bongbong na hindi naman daw zero lahat. So nagkakaiba dun. Conflicting reports on the exact contents of the trade deal that may or may not have been finished by Yusek Gepti, hindi ko po alam. DTI at yung CPEA issued statements that on the other hand, negotiations are still ongoing. Despite statements from DTI and OCPEA, reports indicate that in fact, the Philippines has agreed to eliminate nearly all tariffs and non-tariff barriers to U.S. imports while strengthening intellectual property protection and increasing U.S. imports. Meron din mga report that the U.S. reserves the right to terminate the agreement at any time, imposing all kinds of reservations with any country of concern, and furthermore, there is a military component. Ano ba talaga ang nilalaman nito at bakit kinailangan pumunta sa Amerika samantalang 19%? Pare-pareho, pantay-pantay lang naman sa 5 na ASEAN nations. Ni hindi tayo pinagbigyan, nandito na tayo at pinag-iinitan ng mga Chino. Ito yung problema natin. Ano ba ang totoo? Ang tanong ko, magpakatotoo kayo, sister. Please. Now and forever, napakahirap po ng ganito. Ikalawa, may duda ako sa legality ng pinasukan nating trade deal. There are 42 commitments by the Philippines, the US only 5. Ang ibig sabihin nito, this is hardly mutual or reciprocal. Ang commitments of the Philippines restrict economic ties with countries and individuals of concern to the US in derogation of our sovereignty in foreign relations, trade, and commerce. Even the Philippines' full compliance with the agreement will not guarantee that the US will not, in the near or farther future, raise tariff rates. It can possibly be argued that the agreement is unfair to the Philippines, institutionalizes trade inequality that overwhelmingly favors the Philippines. The agreement, as some legal luminaries have stated, reduces the Philippines to an economic vassal of the United States, subservient to imperial impositions in the area of trade and investments, derogating independent foreign policy, national sovereignty, national interest, independent national economy effectively controlled by Filipinos, fails to protect Filipino enterprises against unfair trade practices, trade on the basis of equality and reciprocity. Ang dami pong nakikitang violation ng ating mga constitutionalist, pati na rin ang legal, kung talagang po pwede ba sa pamamagitan lamang ng executive agreement ito. Nabanggit na natin at sinabi na ni Senator Subiri kung ang FTA, ang free trade agreement natin sa Korea, kinailangan pa ng isang treaty. Bakit ito? Nasakop halos lahat. Walang treaty. Ba't nagkaganon? Medyo nalilito tayo dyan. At ikatlo, tulad nga na nabanggit ng aking co-chair, meron ba tayong plano? Ano nga ba yung plano natin? Naipit na tayo sa ganito. Meron bang plano? Nakita na po namin ang GAA 2026, walang laman doon na contingency plan para sa tariff imposition. Walang tulong sa mga Pilipino na mapipinsala, laking dagot sa SAPI, ang ating electronics industry. Patay na kapag 100% yung binabatbat nila. Wala nang matitira. Yan ang number 1 export natin. Umabot ng 60%, walang matitira dyan. At ano ang strategiya natin? May pinili na ba tayong mga domestic industries na palalakasin at talagang pagagandahin para mailaban sa ibang bansa? Where are our strategic directions? So tatlo po yun. Siyempre, ay may solusyon. Marami po akong solusyon. short term, medium term, long term. Pero sa kasamaang palad, wala po akong nakikita ni sa budget, ni sa salita ng DTI, DFA, at iba pa. Ako'y kinakabahan ng todo-todo. Nakita natin ang India, nabanggit na, yung Thailand, ang Singapore. Halos binaliktad nila ang reorganization ng gobyerno nila dahil sa problema na ito. So unang-una, negotiation. At nabanggit din na defense partner tayo. Tayo ang kaisa-isang MDT, isang katutak na EDCA. Hindi ba na-leverage yun ni Yusek Gepti, Secretary Go, Secretary Recto, at Secretary Roque? Ikalawa, wala akong nakikitang plano for market diversification. How do we expand our markets? Have we spoken to all our partners and all our buyers? Wala bang pakikiusap? Wala ba tayong kasunduan sa Middle East, Africa? Pinag-uusapan namin ni Secretary Lazaro. Iilan lang, kakarampot lang ang embassy sa Africa at sa South America, mga booming areas. We need to expand markets. And thirdly, of course, the issue of domestic strengthening and resilience of the hard-hit and distressed industries in this case, as well as the strategic directions for future progress and development. Yun lang, madami-dami.
Thank you very much, my dear co-chair. We'd like to recognize our vice chairman of the committee, Senator Win Gatchalian.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I actually filed a resolution to look into this tariff being imposed by the U.S. I filed it during the 19th Congress. I'll refile it again, so that it will be referred to this committee. But my main concern is the same with Senator Amy Marcos, our semiconductor industry. The semiconductor industry is, for me, one of the bright spots of the Philippines. We 70% of our exports, of our total exports, come from the semiconductor industry. It's earning about $30 billion for our country. And the US imports about 46% of its goods. 46% of the goods being imported from the Philippines are semiconductors. Ganong kalaki po ang matatamaan po kung mag-i-impose po ng taripa sa ating semiconductor industry. On top of that, the entire semiconductor industry, Mr. Chairman, both direct and indirect, employs about 3 million people, and growing at around about 150,000 a year. So, in other words, the same with the BPO industry, the semiconductor industry of our country can be cultivated and can be a major economic driver of our country. But if the tariffs will severely impact the semiconductor industry, it will be slowed down, and eventually it might also face disappearance. Because just yesterday, Mr. President, I was watching a documentary on YouTube because of the CHIPS Act of the US. A lot of this semiconductor industry in the whole world, not only located in China, but in the whole world, are being incentivized to come back to the US, set up shop, and eventually produce chips in the US, both low-end chips and also high-quality chips. So it's not only tariffs that is being a major challenge to our semiconductor industry, but also the subsidies and incentives being given in the US itself. So, Mr. Chairman, I thank you for conducting this hearing, and we would like to hear from our semiconductor group. What are the challenges they are facing, and how can we help them? It's eventually, it is important also to extend some form of assistance to our semiconductor industry so they can continue to be a main economic driver of our country. So maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much to my vice chair, who, by the way, is also the chairman of the Committee on Finance. These are appropriations chair. At the same time, also the former chairperson of the Committee on Ways and Means. So when it comes to tariff and taxation, he's also a resident expert. We would like to also recognize Senator Robin Hood Padilla, sir.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Tagapangulo. Ako, A'udhu billahi minasyaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Binabati ko po lahat ng aming panauhin. Ah, Ako po ay ang chairman naman ng Public Information. Hindi naman po lingid sa inyong kaalaman na nagkaroon po ng napakaraming issue patungkol dito sa taripa na ito po ay naisampal sa ating kababayan. Alam niyo po, sa ating mga Pilipino, tayo ay tapat sa pagiging kaibigan ng Amerikano. Ako po ay masasabi ko na ang tawag ko nga sa kanila amang Amerikano. Noong panahon po na kampanyahan para kay Trump, ako po'y nangampanya sa kanya. Dahil naniniwala ako na yung kanyang Make America Great Again, kasama Pilipinas. Kasama tayo doon. Kasi tayo tapat sa kanya eh. Sa usapin ng militarily, talagang tapat tayo. Gusto ko pong maintindihan higit sa lahat para akin pong maipaliwanag sa ating mga kababayan na itong taripang isinampal sa atin ay makabubuti. Sapagkat pagka binasa niyo po ang maraming mga artikulo, puro negatibo. Kaya po ako'y nagpumilit na sumama sa usapin nito para doon po sa aking committee ay maipaliwanag ko po na ito ay maganda para sa atin at magiging Make Philippine Great Again. Kaya sana po itong paliwanagan na ito ay maging maliwanag sa lahat katulad po ng sinabi ng ating tagapangulo at ng ating pangalawang tagapangulo. Tulungan niyo po kaming maipaliwanag ito sa taong bayan dahil ito po may negatibong kahit saan po kayo pumunta, napaka-negatibo. Yun lamang po. Maraming salamat.
Thank you. May bago tayong Make Philippines Great Again. Ano yun? Ang acronym niyan is MAPIGA. MAPIGA. MAPIGA.
Tatay ko na una.
So thank you very much. We'd now like to recognize our COMSEC, our committee secretary, to please, Ma'am Jamie, to please recognize all the resource persons that are here today.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have members from the private sector and the business community, as well as our government agencies. For the Department of Trade and Industry, Secretary Maria Cristina Roque, together with Undersecretary Alan Hepty. For the Department of Foreign Affairs, Secretary Maria Teresa Lazaro, together with Undersecretary Charles Jose, Assistant Secretary Raquel Solano, Assistant Secretary Zaldi Patron. For the Department of Economy, Planning and Development, Undersecretary Rosemary Adilion. For the Department of Agriculture, Undersecretary Asis Perez. For the Department of Finance, Undersecretary Carlo Fermin Adriano. For the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, Deputy Governor Zino Ronald Abenoja. For the Office of the Special Assistant to the President for Investment and Economic Affairs, Chief of Staff Leslie Lim. For the Tariff Commission, Commissioner Marisa Maricosa Paderon. For the Sugar Regulatory Administration, Administrator and CEO Pablo Luis Ascona. For the Philippine Institute for Development Studies, Senior Research Fellow Dr. Francis Mark Kimba. For the Philippine Statistics Authority, Chief Statistical Specialist Maria Julieta Soliven. For the Philippine Economic Zone Authority, Group Manager Attorney Jenny June Romero. For the Philippine Coconut Authority, Department Manager Rose Villaruel. For the private sector, Export Development Council, we have Attorney Rami Hurani. For the Philippine Exporters Confederation, or PhilExport, President and CEO Sergio Ortiz Luis Jr. For the Semiconductor and Electronics Industries in the Philippines, Christian Bael. For the Philippine Food Processors and Exporters Organization, or PhilFoodex, Director Anne Claudette Nebres Lavador. For the Foreign Buyers Association of the Philippines, Chairman Robert Young. For the Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura, Executive Director Jason Kainglet. For our academe, De La Salle University Angelo King Institute, Director Jesus Felipe. For Taiwan Association Inc. Philippines, Chairman Lin Tangfang. We have also invited other stakeholders, Mr. Chair, but they have sent their regrets. These are the Confederation of Wearable Exporters of the Philippines, Textile Mills Association of the Philippines, Philippine Parts Makers Association, the Soxargen Federation of Fishing and Allied Industries, Ateneo de Manila University Department of Economics, the American Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines, and the European Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines. We have also sent invitations to the Filipino Banana Growers and Exporters Association, United Coconut Association of the Philippines, Garment Association of the Philippines, the Makati Business Club, University of the Philippines School of Economics. That's all for now, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, our dear Comsec. We also like to put on record that I received calls yesterday from the DepDev Secretary. Secretary Palisacan is with the President, I believe, this morning, together with Secretary Decgo. But I think Secretary Decgo sent his Chief of Staff here with us. Madam, yes. And I already said that on my phone conversation, I know we're all busy, but next week I'll be raising some questions about this during the DBCC meeting on Monday.
Yes, Senator, he confirmed to be there.
Thank you. And so also Secretary Ralph Recto sent messages to me that they have a very important meeting in Malacanang today. Today, we're going to start the ball rolling by asking the government agencies first. Allow me to recognize Ma'am Tess, Secretary Tess Lazaro, because she has to leave for Malacanang to be there at 12:30.
She's been here all morning.
All morning. Actually, it's perfect timing. That's why I'm glad that she was in your meeting first. She can join us in our meeting today. To give her statement, opening statement, and maybe some questions from our colleagues. Then we will proceed to the DTI on the briefing of the DTI. So, Ma'am Secretary Lazaro, you're recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Very briefly, since the focus of the discussions is on the tariff, I just want to say that the official visit of the President to Washington, D.C. last 20 to 22 July has resulted also in the following key commitments and accomplishments. One, an announcement from the U.S. Department of State that there's about $60 million in foreign assistance funding to support energy, maritime, and economic growth. This is not to say the least that the USAID as an organization has already been terminated in terms of providing that work that they have been giving, but just to emphasize that they are continuously giving this foreign assistance. Then also the U.S. government's pledge of an additional 15 million for private sector development, particularly for the Luzon Economic Corridor Initiative, and $15 million. This is actually part of the continuous feasibility study. Then the next is, I'm sorry, feasibility pa lang. I think that's the word that they used. And then $21 billion of investment pledges from major American companies. During that short visit of the President, he also met a good number of big American companies and corporations. And recently, the department also received information from the U.S. Embassy in Manila that the U.S. has proposed to increase the funding, what they call DOAG, D-O-A-G, or Development Objective Agreements. And basically, this is all centered on most of it from health and health issues. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
There's just a question from my colleague, my co-chair here, about the treaty obligations, particularly for the case that she cited was in Korea. So we did a free trade agreement. Would you like to expound, Madam?
Yes, President Trump announced that there would be zero tariff on all U.S. goods entering the Philippines. Is that correct? Yes, anybody can say, yeah. Tama, U.S. USEC Gepti? Tama? Go ahead. Yeah.
Yes. Well, to date po, Your Honors, as that we have not yet concluded and signed any
No, but the
agreement with the
President of
US.
United States already said
Wala pa
zero
po yun.
tariff.
Kasi if ever we
So
will,
we're supposed to disregard the President.
well, that was of course, the tweet of the President Trump, but any and all agreements entered into between two states
So
will have
that's
to
not
be.
true.
Today po, wala po. Wala pa po. Hindi pa po ngayon yan na-implement po. Kasi ongoing po negotiation.
Pero pinahiwatig na. Nagbabala na. Zero tariff.
Well, that was the announcement of President Trump. But as
Which
far
you
as we are
choose to disregard, is that correct, Mr. Kepti?
well, as I mentioned, Your Honor, is that the negotiations are still ongoing. So there is nothing
But
to
the
implement.
announcement has been made.
Well, that is the announcement of the
Executive
President of the United
announcements are
States.
considered policy. In any case, I am not here to argue with you. In the best estimates of the executive, what is the percentage of U.S. tariffs currently being imported and that will have zero tariff? You will say again, it's not yet.
My co-chair, maybe it's best that we also allow them to give the presentation really quickly, then we can ask the questions.
Yes, no,
Ah.
this is just to lay the predicate for the question kay Secretary Lazaro. Oo. De pinapaliwanag ko lang, what's the amount that's going to be imported na zero tariff sa US? You have any estimate? So
Ah,
far wala pa kasi hindi pa tapos.
Kasi
yung
po wala pa pang agreement po.
labo nito ah. Anyway, what is very clear is that the agreement improves market access for US goods into the Philippines. Is that correct?
There are certain offers, and I think this was disclosed when, of course, the delegation from the United States arrived last July.
So you're saying that there's no increased market access? There's no zero tariff? There's no additional market access of US goods into
There are certain offers.
Eh, ano pa pinag-usapan?
There are certain offers made on market access for purposes of the ongoing negotiation on the reciprocal trade.
So I am going through all these questions. It's very simple. Is it proper that this is a mere executive agreement? Now you're saying that there is no executive agreement. Nagsalita lang, nagbalat bunga lang, at hindi naman daw kinakailangan pakinggan dahil wala pa yung zero tariff na yon. If it's an executive agreement or nag-usap-usap lang sila, these agreements will grant or open up market access into the Philippines, and these concerns are usually treated in treaties. Di ba? Additional market access. Ayan. As an example, lahat ng mga FTA natin, iilan na nga lang yung FTA natin. The free trade agreement, like I mentioned earlier, yung Philippine-South Korea FTA, isa yon. O yung multilateral, ganun din, yung RCEP, di ba? Pareho rin yan, naging treaty rin yan. They're not the GPEPA, di ba? Puro sa treaty yan. They cannot be considered mere executive agreements precisely because they grant wider market access to other states. So why is the US-Philippine trade deal different? What's the difference? So baka may legal ang SFA or STI. Hindi ko talaga maintindihan. Kasi mas malawak to di hamak. As a matter of fact, if you look at it, while the provisions of the RCEP, the GPEPA, the Philippine-Korean FTA are reciprocal, they're reciprocally onerous, reciprocally mutually beneficial, the provisions of the US-Philippine trade, even on the scant information that we have been provided, is clearly more onerous upon the Philippines and extremely beneficial to the US. There is even more reason that this agreement should be submitted for the concurrence of the Senate, considering the checks and balances imposed by the Constitution. If not, are you saying that the checks and balances does not apply in this case, and that the executive possesses absolute discretion and power to enter into agreements that constitute derogation of economic powers here in the Philippines? Parang nalalabuan yata ako.
Maybe we can ask the
Kaya tatanong ko
Secretary
kay
Lazaro
SFA, kung sa legal, tama ba itong prosesong to?
Initial thoughts about this is since
Full disclosure, kaklase ko sa UP College of Law.
pero anyway, thank you the Senator, but just to state that in any for example the one that was mentioned by Senator Marcos, there are all, it always passes, it is the agency concerned. So I defer to the Department of Trade and Industry because they have to go through this, and then that passes through us, if indeed it is something of an executive agreement only, or that needs a treaty practice. So we defer to DTI.
Okay, so, yeah. Yeah, so thank you, Madam Tess, unless there are other colleagues who want to ask the DFA. If not, she can be excused. Thank you very much, Madam Tess Lazaro.
As far as you're concerned, just to put closure on this, as far as you're concerned, the DFA does not consider this an executive agreement, nor a treaty, nor any kind of free trade agreement. Is that correct?
If I listen, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, if I listen to our colleague from the Department of Trade Industry, there's no concrete description yet of what it is all about. So it's very hard to make any determination at this point of time.
Nor aware of the investment requirements usually accompanying these tariff concessions in the United States. So wala rin yun. Wala rin tayong
wala
kung
rin yun.
anong obligasyon natin
Wala rin.
bumili sa Amerika.
Yes.
Wala rin tayong awareness tungkol sa tulong o pamimili ng mga defense hardware, di ba?
Mm.
Wala rin. Pero alam natin na may defense component to, di ba? Daw,
May
daw.
defense
Yun ang balita.
Kakaiba daw.
Sinabi rin ni Presidente Bongbong,
Well,
mali yung dalawang pangulo. Kakatakot yata.
hindi naman.
Sino paniniwalaan natin ito?
Mga for ano lang, advertising ano na yun.
I defer to DTI.
Soundbite.
Wala namang kampanya.
O nga, pang
Nambobola lang tayo pag eleksyon.
soundbites lang siguro ng dalawang president, ng President Trump yun. Kasi alam mo naman si President Trump, mahilig sa soundbites. But,
Hindi, ko lang. So,
Oh.
ibig sabihin, walang kasulatan.
Not that we know of.
So, ano nangyari?
so anyway, let's ask,
Post na
Ay.
yung 19%, di ba? May deadline na. May date na eh. O, effective na based on daldal lang.
There is an executive order issued by President Trump on the 19% and other reciprocal tariff
But-
rates.
Extraterritorial power.
That is unilateral imposition of the United States.
Ayun na nga. Pero wala rin kasulatan yung DFA.
If I can explain po, Your Honor.
maybe now recognize the DTI, the Department of Trade and Industry, whoever would like to speak on, would like to speak on behalf of on this trade agreement. Secretary Roque, you are recognized. Yes, please, please.
I've been releasing secretary.
Yes, you can go. Secretary Lazaro.
Wala pa ho kami nakukuha mula from DTI.
Oh, please proceed, Secretary Roque.
If it turns out later on that in fact the treaty is required and the concurrence of the Senate is mandated, you will of course do that. Because as I see it now, the terms of this negotiation clearly require reciprocal acts, clearly require a higher level of agreement, di ba?
Yes, because
May
and this is
market
being
access, may-
discussed by our co-chair because our co-chair is in charge of ratifying all treaties.
Kaya nga eh.
Kanyang committee.
Kaya nga ako nagtatanong, bakit nagkaganito to?
Well,
Ayun,
wala
okay.
pa ho at this
Oh, so wala pa. Okay. Sige, Secretary Lazaro.
Thank you, Madam, for coming.